Bonjour. Today we are going to look at the present tense of the irregular verb avoir. Avoir means to have in French, and it is used all the time. Not only do you use avoir to talk about things that you have, like I have math class tomorrow, I have two cats, I have a big brother. You also use avoir with idiomatic expressions like I'm hot, I'm cold, I'm hungry, I'm sleepy. You use avoir with those instead of am, the verb être. You also will be using avoir when you learn the past tense. So this is an extremely important verb to learn, and it is really short. So let's look at the verb avoir, to have. The six forms are j'ai, I have, tu as, you have, il a, elle a, on a, he has, she has, one has, nous avons, vous avez, ils ont, elles ont. Avoir, j'ai, tu as, il a, elle a, on a, nous avons, vous avez, ils ont, elles ont. There are several songs on YouTube that I recommend to learn how to spell and say this verb avoir. My favorite one, I will put a link to on YouTube underneath it. It goes G-A-I, tu as, A-S, il a, elle a, nous avons, vous avez, il, elle, O-N-T. And it helps you spell them. When you are pronouncing this verb avoir, please note that we do use liaison with the on, nous, vous, and elle, plural, il, plural forms. On a, nous avons, vous avez, ils ont, elles ont. We will also look at how to make these negative. Notice that they all start with vowels, so when we use ne pas, we will use an apostrophe in front and then our pas. But first, here are some examples of the verb avoir in context. On a rendez-vous avec Jean-Luc demain. We have a meeting with Jean-Luc tomorrow. So we have, on a. More formal form of we, nous. Nous avons un examen demain. We have a test tomorrow. Nous avons. We have. You can use it with age. We'll see this again in a minute. J'ai 34 ans. In English, we say I am 34, but in French, we say I have 34 years. J'ai 34 ans. I have 34 years. Elle a deux parents sympas. Elle a, she has, deux parents sympas. She has two parents who are nice. You can use avoir with possessions, with people, with activities you have scheduled, with feelings as well. So we'll look at those soon. When avoir is negative, you put ne pas around the form of avoir conjugated, but notice that normally you put un, une, des, an indefinite article. Those indefinite articles, un, une, des, usually turn into de. So if I looked at the previous slide, we don't have a test tomorrow would be nous n'avons pas d'examen, D apostrophe. Nous n'avons pas d'examen. Let's look at some examples. J'ai un cours difficile. I have a hard class. If I wanted to make this negative, I would put ne pas around j'ai, and I would change un. So, je n'ai pas de cours difficile. I don't have a difficult class. Think of that de. It helps me to think of it as the word any. I don't have any difficult class, so we change the word a little bit. Il a des examens. He has some tests. You are going to make a negative. Il n'a pas. Des becomes de. Il n'a pas d'examen. Il n'a pas d'examen. He does not have any exams. I think I have one more example. This is with a definite article. Remember, definite articles, le, la, l apostrophe, les, the rule does not apply to them. So if I said, tu as les yeux bleus, you have blue eyes. Tu n'as pas, picture an apostrophe in there. Tu n'as pas les yeux bleus, you don't have blue eyes. So you don't change les to de. Lastly, This is what's really important about avoir. It's used with a lot of idiomatic expressions that in English usually have am, are, is, the verb to be, which would normally be être, and a lot of them have to do with feelings as well. So the verb avoir can be used in these phrases: avoir 10 ans, to have 10 years, to be 10 years old; avoir chaud, to be hot. In French, you don't say I am hot, you say I have hot. So all these feelings are feelings that you have. Avoir froid, to be cold, avoir froid. Avoir faim, to be hungry, avoir faim. Avoir soif, to be thirsty. So in French, you don't have you don't say I am hungry and thirsty. You say I have hunger, I have thirst. That makes sense. Avoir sommeil, to have sleepiness. Avoir raison, to have reason, to be right. Avoir tort, to be wrong. Avoir de la chance, to have luck, to be lucky. Avoir l'air, to have an air about you, to seem a certain way. Avoir besoin de, to have a need of something. Avoir envie de, to have desire to do something. Avoir honte de, to have shame of something. And avoir peur de, to have fear of something. We are going to look at these in more detail in my next video. For right now, here's the list one more time and just kind of get used to seeing these avoir expressions. Avoir, avoir en, avoir chaud, avoir froid. And you'll conjugate these. So you'll say j'ai chaud, j'ai froid, elle a chaud, elle a froid. Avoir faim, avoir soif, avoir sommeil, avoir raison, avoir tort, avoir de la chance, avoir l'air, avoir besoin de, avoir envie de, avoir honte de, avoir peur de. I'll go into more detail with these expressions in our next video. Ciao!